family, I'm Sherrell and welcome to my channel. It's all about learning how to breathe in and stress out, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. If you're new to my channel, I want to share with you some of my favorite types of yoga. So if you're a new person or you need a refresher, then this video will be very helpful for you. When I first started teaching yoga, one of the first types that I learned and I'm training is Hatha yoga, which is primarily a slower paced yoga. It's not a vinyasa flow. It allows you to really focus on alignment and really feel the postures deep in your body. And so that's what we're going to do today, a short Hatha segment. For those that are new, join me. So go ahead and grab a mat, and we're actually going to start on hands and knees first. So we're going to come to what's called tabletop position. And with Hatha yoga, is perfectly fine to use props. So you can see behind me I have some bolsters, blocks, and straps, and they are there to help you, not to make you feel any kind of way. So anytime you need help, go ahead and grab it. And the first thing that we're actually going to do, we're going to use the blocks for when we do our plank pose. So go ahead and have your blocks somewhere near you. Come to your tabletop position, take your knees apart so they're right underneath your hip joints, and spread your fingers wide, and make sure your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Now, this is too much for you. You can always come down to your elbows, or you can always use your blocks to bring the floor closer to you. So you would have it on the lowest setting, and you can just rest your elbows here, or you can place your hands on the blocks to take a little bit of pressure off your wrists. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep the blocks here, especially for those that are new. And we're going to do cat-cow curls. So what that means is, as you breathe in, you're going to go ahead and arch your back and look up and lift your tailbone nice and high. And as you exhale, you're going to curl yourself into a tight ball, round your shoulders, and breathe. Inhale, slowly look up, arching your back, and this gets the blood flowing to the spine. It's a nice warm-up. Exhale, curl. And one more. Inhale, look up. Exhale, curl. Beautiful. Come to a nice tabletop position. I'm just going to move the blocks to the side. And I like to do this posture. It's called balancing tabletop, because many of the yoga postures work on balance, and many times it's great to start with balancing poses while you're close to the mat. So we're actually going to start by stepping the right foot back, and we're going to really press down through our hands, meaning our heels, our knuckles, and the fingertips. Engage the belly, and you're slowly going to lift that leg. So you don't want to lift it up high to where you're compromising the hips. You want to have it right in line with the hips. You can tuck your toes on your opposite foot. That kind of helps me. And go ahead and begin to flex that right foot so the toes are face down. And breathe. And just see how you feel here. Now, if you want to take it up a notch, you can reach that left arm forward so that you're really balancing both sides. Now, if that's too much, just bring that hand down. And we're going to breathe here. Take one more deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose, and bring that knee down. And let's try that on the other side. Remember, yoga is a weight-bearing practice. So if you're not used to being on your knees and your hands, you can always use your blocks. So let me demonstrate using the blocks on the other side. So even when you use the blocks, you don't want to compromise the shoulders. So you don't want to sink down. You want to continue to press down, okay? And go ahead and step the left foot back. Pull into your belly. Feel everything lengthen and activate, and then slowly lift that foot. Straighten the leg, toes are face down and flexed, and breathe. Feel the entire body elongate. all the way down to your toes. And if you like to test this side, you can reach the arm forward. Keep your gaze right in front of your mat, right down in front of you. And then slowly bring the arm down and bring the knee down. And just begin to rock your hips side to side just a bit. Now this could be a lot if you're not used to being on the mat, you're not used to being on your knees a lot. So if you have, if you're discovering now that, yeah, my knees are a little sore, that doesn't feel good, you can always use some cushions. So you can grab a towel, or you can double up your mat or get a thicker mat just to provide a little bit more cushion for your knees, okay? So we're going to go ahead and move the blocks to the side. And we're going to work on plank pose. Plank pose is a pose that you see in many types of vinyasa flows, hatha yoga, and it's something that you actually see in fitness classes as well. But we're going to take a nice gentle approach to it. So we're going to make sure that we keep our knees separated, and we're going to use our blocks. And we're going to come all the way down onto our bellies first, okay? So we're going to keep the knees in contact with the mat, and we're going to keep our hips lifted high. And the way we're going to do that is to place our forearms on the blocks, lift the hips, and press down through the tops of the feet and the knees. And hold. And you should really feel this in your lower back just like you feel with any plank pose. But you take the pressure off of your wrists, and you have an opportunity to work on building strength in your core by keeping your knees in contact with the mat. So just work on keeping those hips nice and high. And then slowly lower all the way down. And go ahead and move the blocks to the side. The next pose that I want to introduce is a gentle back bend. So in many yoga classes you'll see cobra pose, or you'll see upward facing dog. And it's done usually on the belly. One way that I like to introduce those types of poses to beginners is to start with Sphinx pose, and that's to come onto your forearms. Make sure that you can tap your opposite elbows and make sure you have proper distance. Point your toes behind you, and then begin to press down through your forearms. So the shoulders are very sensitive, so if you have a problem where you're slouching down in your shoulders and you're not able to press down through your forearms to lift yourself up, an option here for you would be to use a bolster or a pillow. So a bolster or a pillow that's pretty long, you would place it right there near your rib cage to help to lift the floor, to make it a little bit higher for you. That way you can work on building strength in your shoulders. You can breathe a little deeply and fully without too much struggle. And you can allow your body to get pretty used to the pose. And we're just going to hold here for a few deep breaths. Closing your eyes. Feeling nice and heavy down in the pelvis. Feeling a nice stretch in the lower back. Press down through the forearms. Lift up with the help of the bolster and breathe. One more deep breath. And relax. So you can go ahead and press yourself up to tabletop and move the bolster to the side. The last thing I want to share with you is when I was a new yogi, I couldn't believe the amount of pain that I experienced on my wrists because I wasn't used to weight bearing practice, and so I had to build up wrist strength. And one of the exercises that I did that really helped me were some of these. So you would just come to your hands and knees, and you would begin to rotate your fingers backwards. So first we're going to start with bringing the fingers out to the side, taking the knees apart, and just begin to press down through the fingertips. This is just helping to open up the wrists, open up the hands for your weight. And then just begin to move side to side, shifting the weight a little bit more to the right, and then shifting over here to the left. Try not to let the heels raise. So if you shift over and the heels come up, there's too much weight on that side. So we just want to press down. Coming back to the center. Take your time and slowly begin to rotate the fingers, facing your legs as much as possible. Opening up the wrists, opening up the hands. Inhale and leaning the body forward. Slowly exhale, leaning the body back, opening up the wrists. You shouldn't feel pain here. It should just be a nice, gentle stretch. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, shifting that weight back. And last time, inhale, coming forward. Exhale, shifting back. And slowly begin to bring the fingertips forward. You can sit back on your heels if you like, or you can sit all the way on the mat. And just give your hands a nice shake. And I like to do these exercises after a flow or any type of yoga that I've done where I've used my hands for some type of weight bearing. So you're going to start first with the thumb. You're going to bring your arm in front of you. And then a gentle stretch, bringing that thumb back, stretching it out. You're going to do this for all 5 fingers. Pressing that palm forward. This is really good for those that have desk jobs and you're typing all day. Moving on to that 4th finger, still opening up the wrist, and then moving to that pinky finger. This is really good to do first thing in the morning, maybe mid-afternoon, or even before you go to bed, to just open everything up. And then you're going to go ahead and hold on to 4 of your fingers, releasing the thumb and pressing forward. And then release and give a nice shake. And we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Go ahead and extend the left arm forward. Gentle pull on that thumb, pressing that wrist forward. Same thing for each finger. Spend as much time here as you need to feel release, to feel strength. Moving on to the ring finger and the pinky. And then all 4 fingers. And I know for me this feels so good before my practice and after. And then just give them all a nice shake. And those were just some of the few poses and techniques that I wanted to share with you from a Hatha yoga standpoint, where your teacher may give you a little bit more verbal cues. You're able to move a little bit slower in a pose, taking time to use props and talking your way through the pose versus a vinyasa flow where you're moving a little bit more quickly. Whatever stage you're in, give yourself time. You may start with Hatha and you may move on to some other types of styles of yoga. So wherever you start, be there, be in the present moment, and enjoy yourself. And don't forget to breathe in and stress out. Okay? Until next time, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. God bless.